Welcome, nonprofit community. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Kara Zimmerman, and I want to thank Spirit of Giving Network for hosting our show today. They are always the backbone and voice of the community, and this is great for everyone to be able to hear and learn more about today, 9Muses Art Center. And today we have Chris Yacklin, who is the Adult Services Director of the Mental Health Association at 9Muses, and Nicole Storrs. She's so many things. She the list here: ceramic teacher. If you could see her pants, you would know why. They're all different colors of clay on her pants. And we have the health, and she's a health and safety supervisor and manager as well. So we have a very superstar panel here from 9Muses, and I really thank you for taking the time out of your busy day because the work that you do is so important. So thank you for coming. And Chris, if you could tell us a little bit about what it's like, the day in the life of Chris Yacklin at the Adult Services Director.
That's the setup.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you. I appreciate being here. So I work for the Mental Health Association. MHA has been in Broward for 60 years.
60.
I came to
Not
9Muses.
you. You haven't been there 60.
No,
You
not
don't look
quite
like
that
it.
old. But I've been at 9Muses for 15 years. It has been in existence for 20. So the 9Muses Art Center is a behavioral health drop-in center. It's set up for a mental health community to come in, find a place where it's safe to be, and find a passion in their life through the arts. All of our visual arts, painting, drawing, and performing arts, music, dance, vocal, creative writing.
Yeah, creative writing.
And mixed in with all of the arts and culture is support groups. So we have
Life skill classes.
And life skill classes.
Life skill classes are important too.
So do you teach those too, Nicole?
I do not. I'm strictly ceramics, and being the manager, I think they just gave me that title because I know where everything is.
Nicole's
So
been here a little longer than I.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
yes.
We got her straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Were you a client? What got you interested in 9Muses? Art? I mean,
Well, yeah, art. I just began attending the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, and I got the job via their employment office on the campus.
and little did you know.
That I would be
We would never let
there.
her go.
Yes.
But what is it like to be there? I mean, there must be some reason. 20 years is.
Oh, well, of course.
Tell
Just because
us.
helping people is kind of amazing.
And you don't know that when you're young. Sometimes you don't
No.
realize. You think it's all about me and give me and I need a Christmas gift or whatever.
It was
right?
it was definitely just I could teach art. I like art.
Yeah.
That was it.
But think about
But then I
just
stayed.
being diagnosed with a mental illness is devastating. I mean, the stigma that's associated with it, and typically it's in your early 20s that an onset for mental illness will come upon. And if you don't have support or somebody to say it's okay, that a label is just a label and that it's okay to ask for help, and then to find an opportunity within your community to then give back. It is a rewarding job in the sense of watching somebody overcome a diagnosis or an illness or a stigma and find themselves again through the arts. And it's amazing what art can do. It's not art therapy. It's I look at the artists there as muses. I mean, they're my muse every day, but they become support for one another. Our community support groups are there's a depression support group every Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. There is a bipolar and depression support group on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. And they're well attended, and they really build support, not only for the person receiving service, but the community at large. We've had parents, aunts, and uncles come in because there's a family member that's struggling and didn't know what to do or how to deal with. We couldn't do our job without the community partners in our lack of service community. Florida's 49th per capita in mental health funding. We're just below Texas. So if you look at the statistics, but you look at the programs in our community, and they're amazing. You have the partnerships with other providers, And that's how we can do our job. When somebody calls and they're looking for information referral, we produce what's called the Connections Guidebook. And can I plug the? I mean,
Yes,
it's
please.
browardconnections.org, and it's an information resource book. So browardconnections.org is a online site. It's not really as organized as it could be because it's basically a website that we put information referral materials in, but it's all Broward County nonprofits. And then we produce, or have produced in the past, a hard copy Connections Guidebook, which we like to put in everybody's hands. If I didn't have that partnership with all of our community partners, I wouldn't be able to offer that information referral. So it's really that network of supports, even with programming.
I mean, isn't that what nonprofits are all about? We're supposed to do that. The word collaboration, and not holding your information to yourself, but sharing it and working together.
It's the only way you make community,
right? Community.
It's true.
And sometimes we lose that sense. We don't know. And I'm just curious, how would somebody know in the community they've been diagnosed? How do they know to find you? How would they? I want the community to hear on the radio about 9Muses, but I'm thinking, how would I know to come to you?
Kept secret.
Best kept secret.
Okay, so and we serve about 75 to 120 members a day.
A day.
So I'm not looking for an influx of members. I'm a member organization. You must have a diagnosis in order to participate and be a member. We do play well with others. Only if you think you're normal, I'm going to charge you $100 a year. So the prerequisite is a sought or received services in the last 5 years. But it is open to the community.
It is open to the community. Everybody's welcome to come. And there are people that do check no in that box when they fill out the application, and they do pay the $100. Sometimes it turns people away, and that's good too.
There's a sign on my door that says, "You do not have to be crazy to work here, that I will train you." I have to make fun of it because when I first started, I wasn't allowed to use that C word, crazy, because it was offensive. And yes, I understand that. But if we don't take that power back and enjoy who we are, so I'm a little crazy. Who isn't? But I own it, and I am responsible for my behavior. It's when you use your mental illness as an excuse for bad behavior, that's when we have a problem. And if we can continue that open dialogue and have trust, then I see recovery happen. And when I see recovery happen, I can throw statistics, but statistics are just numbers. You can say that mental illness is preventable if caught early and provided with supports. But it's also a brain disorder, just like heart disease or cancer. And if treated properly, it's just in treating properly, when you start to feel better, I don't want to take my medication anymore. Then what? Then you go through this vicious cycle. So having that understanding, or people that have been in that place, really makes a sense for support and recovery. Because with an illness, you must have some type of support, or somebody who has been there, understands, cares, and can listen, which is our Seth line. So our Seth line is open in the evenings from 6 to 10 p.m. And it's it is a warm line. It's a warm line where people can call, talk to someone who cares, understands, and been there. It is Monday through Fridays from 6 to 10. And the number, 954-578-5640. That's 954-578-5640. And that's the Seth line. It's a warm line. It also can provide information and referral. But it is really, we have developed wonderful relationships over the years. People just calling on the way home from work and talking about their day. It really has that mindset of, if I talk about it, I feel better. And, I call my grandmother, who's 96 years old, and I still vent my day. But that's how I unwind. So the Seth line is sort of designed for that, get it out of your system. And I'm not a good listener. I'm a great talker, but I'm not a good listener. It's a trained support program. So,
active listening.
No, I have volunteers on that line.
I was going to ask you, are those trained? Are they social workers?
No.
Therapists? People like that?
No.
Just trained?
We should have started with that.
People that have been there
been there, gone
yes,
through it,
people that
lived it.
understand.
So
Isn't that so?
Nobody with little letters
Nobody.
after their name that paid lots of money for their degrees.
Right. I think, isn't it? It's so important to have somebody talk to you that's been through it.
So the
I would never.
state of Florida,
It makes it a lot easier for people to open up and really pay attention to trust, like a link of trust. Well, if you know what I'm talking about, then I can trust that what you're saying is true and you're not just telling it to me to get me to do this thing I don't want to do, whatever it may be. It's important to trust the person who's on the other end of the phone listening to you.
And I bet that person on the other end feels good because they're giving back. Maybe they've been helped by your organization or, and they
Most
they
of
want to
them.
give the time, right?
Definitely. Absolutely. Membership. The pool of volunteers comes from our membership. People that see a need somewhere and they want to return the favors that they've been given by the organization.
and they become mentors to our members. So we have a participating Muse, which is somebody who just comes in and fills out an application. And we have a Gallery Muse, somebody who has participated in our art classes. Studio Muse, somebody who has had an exhibit, an art show. 100% of the asking price goes back to the member. We are a gallery. We have a full frame
We have
shop.
a frame shop, yeah. So we can
we
frame your...
then take the work out and then display it. So
travel
we
it
have
around,
a
shop it around.
Lease to buy program. Will change the environment of your office space on every 6-month basis, basically for gas money. But you allow us to exhibit on your walls and sell the members' work off of your walls. And it really gives the member that sense of exposure. But, on the flip side of that, when I sell enough work, anything over, $599.99?
Right.
You get a 1099 from my agency at the end of the year. Well, if I do that for somebody on Social Security, I put them at risk, not only for their Social Security or their disability, but also maybe their housing. So keeping that in mind, I sometimes need to purchase art supplies instead of necessarily that sale of art. So we've
Figured it out.
yeah,
We
you
work
need to.
it.
You need to work that
Yeah.
system so the
Actively
system works for
working it.
you. And at the same time, recognize that you're an artist and that you can provide an opportunity to make a career. We've had 2 members be recognized by other agencies as a career choice and supported to set up studios. So it's a rewarding agency to work with. So.
And how is the art? I mean, how does art play into the mental piece?
So I'll put calls out every now and then, me, myself, and identity, and I'll put a piece around it for a show, and then have artists send or submit their works of art around that call. But at other times, they're going through the classes, and if they create a body of work that's recognizable
And
as
cohesive.
a series, in either concept or shape or form, that work is then submitted as a exhibit, and we do every other month. We do a solo exhibit.
Every other month. So they get framed in the frame shop. They go up on the wall. There's an opening. There's food. People are invited. We make an invitation that they can hand out to whoever they want. And after we gather 6 months of those, because now we do it we used to do it once a month, but it was a lot of work because we put 15 to 20 pieces on the wall each time. That's what we prefer. So we gather all that work together, and then it goes out and gets shown at South Florida State Hospital in their
It's a nice gallery space.
in their boardroom, and we sell stuff off the walls there all the time.
Oh my god!
And then from there, we have other community providers that we exhibit their work, or if the member wants the work back, it goes back to the member.
So do we want to put a shout out to companies if they'd like to hang your art? That sounds like a wonderful place to get started.
We just took down 120 pieces from Magellan Healthcare System. It was an amazing piece, and they supported us with not only the exhibit but a donation to the organization. So that was very nice.
Oh my gosh! Did they buy it? Did anybody buy it?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
and
much
again, it
art.
goes back to the member serve. So it's just sort of a pass through. Yes, absolutely. All of that is available on our website too. So 9Muses Arts Center .org. The number
Okay.
9
Nine. Number
Muses
nine. Muse,
Art
MUSES Art Center.
.org has a Flickr page, a Tumblr page, a Twitter page,
Mm-hmm.
all that social media stuff. But they it's what's it? What do I say? It's doesn't matter how great we are; it's how well we document our greatness. So that piece in and of itself is you can go back through time and history. The Diagnose a Doll project was one of my favorite when the new DSM came out, and there was in this uproar of their new diagnosis, but no history to them because the DSM is just a resource to look at behavior,
And then
not
connect it to an
necessarily
illness.
a pill. But
Yeah.
there was some new diagnosis connected to the pharmaceutical industry, so it set me off. So I put a call out for artists. We gave out dolls, and our members created diagnoses around the dolls. So it was amazing, and that shows forever on our Flickr page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's humor. It's taking something serious and
We
making
have to laugh
fun.
at ourselves, especially in today's age.
Today you have to laugh at it. It's not so serious. It just exactly. I love what you're saying. Accept yourself, laugh at yourself, and it makes it so much easier, right?
Definitely.
I talked about that. So all that was visual arts. We have performing arts, which was really
And a band.
A band.
Mm-hmm.
the Muses. The Muses have come a long way, and from Stairway to Heaven on chords over and over and over, to now getting paid for gigs and
Oh
going
my
out to the community.
gosh. Oh, I'm so excited. We have to hear more about this. We're just going to take a quick break. Everyone, this is Kara with the Forum for Nonprofits, Thanks Spirit of Giving Network. And today I'm very excited to be here with Chris and Nicole from 9Muses Art Center in Broward, serving the mental health community so nicely with around the arts. Music, we talked about just now, and art, where you're having clients have their art on walls of businesses where people can buy the art and it goes right back to the artiste. I mean, what a great concept.
Thank you. With the performing arts, it's the writing class, and then the writing class to the poetry class, and then looking at the poetry class to the acting class, and the acting class picking up somebody from the writing class and doing a piece on what they wrote, and then the poetry class is looking at the walls and they're writing something about what was visually done by another member. So it all sort of mushes together. And at the end of all this, and I talked about the band called the Muses, but we have every quarter a creativity cafe. So it's the final Friday of every quarter. So it'd be September, 30th?
29th. Yeah.
Which is the final Friday of September. And it starts at 4:00 with an art sale where the members sort of set up their own booths. I would refer to like almost a flea market.
Yes.
Type
Yeah, definitely like
atmosphere
a flea market.
where the members set up their
Deals
work.
are done. Most definitely.
You make the best deal getting direct from the member than you would if you buy it off my book, because that is sort of a formula of sorts. So if you've never sold a piece before, I say, well, you pay yourself $1.50 an hour. And this is to come up with a fee for your work. And you spent maybe 6 hours, so let's sell it for $12, right? Well, if it sells, you can give yourself a raise. Well, so I'm putting them in my books from anywhere from $75 to $120, and because you have a history of sale. Well, you can turn around and buy that $120 work of art, original work of art from the member, for $20, because anything under 20 is off my books. It's sold direct to the person served.
That's and so that's on September 29th.
From 4 to 6 is the art
6
sale.
p.m.
And then from 6 to 8 p.m. is the performing arts.
Okay.
So that's when, like, we have for visual arts a solo exhibit. We have for performing arts, the acting class performs, the poetry class will perform or will perform their pieces, the music program, the vocal classes. It's only 2-minute vignettes, so sometimes it's you got to sit through it, but it's 2 minutes and it's supported, and other times it blows you away. And I have always been inspired, and a lot of these little snippets are available on a YouTube site too. So if you wanted to just see a little bit about the Muses, go to YouTube, which is on our website. I never know how to get there. You have to. I believe it's Clifford Beers.
I think it's Clifford Beers.
You have to go to our website and then click on the YouTube
And then
channel, and it'll bring you to our channel.
There's a button on 9musesartcenter.org.
So, Nicole, what about we didn't mention the ceramics?
Oh, the ceramics.
Yes. Isn't that part of the art?
It is. It is. It is one of the, it's the only class that I have taught for this long with my stint, during my time here at the Muse.
16 years.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to say it.
All right. That hurt a little bit, but I'm going to recover right now. So when it comes to the ceramics, it's really good because how we run the class is everybody has to go through the 3 techniques, hand building techniques. And once they learn that, they can use that knowledge to create their own pieces. And it's just it incorporates a lot of critical thinking, because what's the best way that I can build this thing that I would like to build out of clay? And when people get their finished pieces back after they've been all glazed and they're all shiny and pretty, their faces are just amazing. I rarely ever have ceramics kept in the building because everybody always takes them home. Whereas when you go into the back and look at all the paintings, everything's still there, but nobody leaves ceramics.
We never have to worry about storing ceramics.
Yeah, we don't.
So they don't get
Although,
sold. Really.
if you-
Somebody takes
They
them.
take them and they give them away, and they give them as presents,
If you don't come
and they
back
use
and pick
them.
them up, we take great pride in breaking them into little bitty pieces.
Yes.
And then making them into mosaics classes on Mondays.
Oh,
Yeah.
So there is that.
talk about therapy, just the breaking of them.
Yes, absolutely. And
You
just
have a bad day?
No, you didn't want to pick this up?
Yeah. But we give you 6 months. We give you 6 months before we destroy your stuff. But we have no qualms about doing it whatsoever. 'Cause
So if we come on
recycling.
September 29th, we're buying art. The ceramics is not that going to be there. Everybody's
Oh,
taking
ceramics
They
is
bring them
always
back
there.
Oh,
to
do they?
sell
No, yeah,
them.
no, they're setting up their own booths. So they are marketing themselves as artists. And really, there are muses, but they're individual artists. So the goal in developing their presence is developing their own website. We were lucky enough this last year to receive funding from the Health Foundation for new computers at the Mental Health Association. So we were able to use the old computers and set up a little lab for the members, which then allowed us to create personal email addresses, identity, social media for each member that wanted to promote their own work. So I'm not holding their work. I'm hopefully empowering them to create their own in their own presence. I mean, I have an arts background. I'm creating little artists, and it's amazing to watch the perception from an individual coming in the door that is, I mean, you're crushed when you're given a diagnosis, and to find passion in their life again and create and recognize that as
And figure it out while they're doing it.
yeah.
around other like-minded people that have had similar diagnosis or situations of similarity that they can relate to.
If we have time, there's. With that said, Broward Behavioral Health Coalition, which is our funder, recently created the Power of Peers program, and that works with the state hospital, Henderson CSU, and we're at Broward General. There are 2 other community partners, which is Rebels at a Memorial Hospital and South Florida Wellness Network. They are in other provider settings, but our role is to follow the person out of the hospital into the community and model behaviors of wellness and supports around them. It has begun to help the citizen, that revolving door that happens within our system of care. And it's wonderful to be a part of that. So that's called the Power of Peers.
Power of Peers.
Yes.
Power of Peers. And that's in Broward also.
Yes.
I can't thank you enough for all that you do. It's just, we need to hear more success stories like this in the mental health community. And I wish you all the best and another 15 at least years of doing what you're doing, both of you.
Thank you.
Chris. And thanks so much for coming and sharing this information. One quick thing, phone number, 954...
746-2055. You can reach me direct at extension 106 or Nicole at extension
108.
Yay. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Forum for Nonprofits, presented as a public service of the Beasley Broadcast Group, hosted by a representative of the Spirit of Giving Network. To volunteer for the Spirit of Giving Network, call 561-385-0144. And tune in again next week for the Forum for Nonprofits. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.